Today we're going to draw a frosted cupcake, but let's not talk about it. Let's eat it. Okay, let's draw a cupcake. Now I'm going to build this up from the bottom. And so imagine that that's kind of the bottom of the cupcake lying on the ground or on the table. And then that will come up a bit like that. And then it'll have that's the opening, which will all be kind of crinkly. And then you're going to want to have a nicely raised bit of sponge cake like that. And then we're going to want the kind of frosty, creamy frosting stuff on the top like that. We want to get that nice piped icing kind of look to this. So start about there, come down and kind of come up like that, and then curl up into the icing. And then we want another one, which will kind of go over the top. We'll kind of curl around into that icing, a shallower S, and that will come around here to doing something similar, and then you'll see a bit kind of in the perspective in the background there. And then, so this will be a bit more curly really, and then I want another one coming around kind of like that, and then we'll see another bit that will just kind of come around the back there like that. Now, you want to decorate this with stars. These will be little sort of iced sugar stars, and you can put little kind of balls and hundreds and thousands and things like that on it. Now we're ready to ink that in. So do all the kind of frosting things first. So put the stars in. Now this drawing was requested by Michelle Lonsdale, who asked me on my new G+ community page. What is that, do you say? Well, it's a G+ page and it's public, so you can post anything you like on there. But what I want is for you to publish your Shoo Rayner drawings, if you know what I mean. If you're inspired by one of my videos, then feel free to go and post your version of my drawing, and it'd be really nice to see how people kind of adapt the things that I do for their own purposes. I know some people do amazing things, and a lot of people ask me, how they can show me the drawings that they've done. So this will be a really good way, and then you can kind of share it with everyone else, and they can see it too. So if you want to show me and show the world the drawings that you do that are inspired by the Shoo Rayner drawing channel, that's the place to do it. Let's put a few more of these hundreds of thousands and things in, and then we can draw in the creamy frosting in behind there like that. This will go up there. That's the frosting on the top. Now comes a kind of tricky bit. So here we want to have these kind of corrugated wiggles, and the kind of wavelength gets wider apart as you come around, and then as you come around here they get a bit closer together again, and then that's going to be your kind of sponge topping, and then the cupcake case will come down like that. When you are sure it is dry, erase all those pencil lines. And these kind of corrugation things here, these folds, will be coming down, following the angles, but then of course here it'll be more vertical. So you want to kind of split these. And don't make them come all the way down to the bottom. So we'll have that kind of coming down there. And they'll want to get closer together towards the edges. So the folds don't really come all the way to the bottom, so you can just kind of put a suggestion of it nearly getting to the bottom like that. We're going to get some shadow under here, and then probably some shadow around there as well. And in these kind of folds we will have shadow as well. And we can put it on the table just by kind of putting a line behind there. That's the kind of the edge of the table. We can add a little bit of shading there. And on that side too. And put a bit of shading on the table, which will kind of put it firmly on the table. Like that. I'm going to make this icing kind of pink. And then in the darker areas, I'm going to put a slightly darker pink. Or if you're using coloured pencils, you can just kind of press harder to get that, sort of leave a more dense area of pink. It'll be a bit pinker underneath as well there. And then we'll make this cakiness or cakey. We have a thing going on with the kind of cakiness thing here as well, where it doesn't quite come all the way up to the top. So the kind of the paper stays white up at the top, but it kind of gets greasy at the bottom. Does that make sense? So it kind of, you get the cakey colour coming through the paper, but not up at the top. Now I'm going to put those little blue stars on there, and green and yellow, hundreds and thousands. And then those little pearls, or whatever they are, I'm just going to put a little kind of curl inside them like that. Give them a bit of modelling, and maybe you could put a little bit of... You could add just extra shading around all these little things, the hundreds and thousands and the little sugar drops or whatever they are. That will just make them stand out that little bit more. There we go, Michelle, how to draw a fancy frosted cupcake. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, go and learn how to draw a Victoria sponge cake in coloured pencils, or have a go at the mystery drawing. Either way, make sure you're subscribed to the Shoo Rayner drawing channel for new drawing videos every Monday and Friday, and have a look at my website. In the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and just keep eating those cupcakes. I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.